My family thought my money belonged to them, until I made one phone call that changed everything. Ethan Carter had always been the safe one, the responsible one. The son relatives pointed at during family gatherings while talking to their own kids. Why can't you be more like Ethan? By 36, he had everything most people said they wanted. A six-figure job, a beautiful house in the suburbs outside Dallas, a paid-off car, retirement savings, no debt. And yet somehow, his family looked at his life and saw failure. Because Ethan wasn't married. He didn't have kids. He didn't post vacation photos online. Didn't go clubbing, didn't buy expensive watches, didn't show off. He just worked. Quietly, consistently, carefully. His younger sister Chloe used to joke about it all the time. You live like an NPC. Everyone laughed when she said things like that, including Ethan, at least in the beginning. But over time, he realized something painful. The jokes weren't really jokes. His family genuinely believed his life mattered less because he lived it differently than they would have. And that belief slowly turned into entitlement. It began 3.5 years earlier on a cold November night. Ethan had just gotten home from work after a 12-hour audit review when his phone rang. Dad. He answered immediately. His father sounded older than usual, tired. Son, we need help. Those 4 words changed everything. The construction company where his father worked had downsized after losing several major contracts. His father had been laid off at 58. His parents were already behind on rent. Credit card debt had piled up. And Chloe, then 24 years old, had recently quit another job because, according to her, the manager was toxic. Ethan listened quietly while sitting at his kitchen table. Then came the question. We just need somewhere to stay for a little while, his mother said softly in the background. A few months until we get back on our feet. Ethan didn't hesitate. Of course. Because that's what family did. At least that's what he believed then. They arrived 2 days later. At first it looked temporary. Suitcases, a few storage boxes, basic furniture. Then another truck arrived. Then another. His mother brought enough kitchen equipment to stock a restaurant. His father brought golf clubs, old recliners, and giant toolboxes. Chloe brought designer clothes, lead makeup mirrors, and enough cosmetics to fill an entire bathroom cabinet. Then came Ryan, Chloe's boyfriend. He started visiting, then staying overnight, then basically living there. Nobody ever asked Ethan if that was okay. The first month felt chaotic but manageable. The second month felt different. The thermostat stayed at 67 degrees day and night. Lights were left on constantly. The refrigerator was always empty despite Ethan spending nearly $1,200 a month on groceries. His electric bill nearly tripled. One evening he opened his banking app and stared at the numbers for several seconds. It wasn't sustainable. Still, he said nothing. Because every time he almost brought it up, guilt stopped him. His father was struggling. His mother looked stressed. Chloe always acted emotionally exhausted. So Ethan convinced himself he was overreacting. Then little things started happening. His car would disappear without warning. Sometimes he'd walk outside for work and realize his father had taken it somewhere. Golf, lunch with old friends, networking. The gas tank always came back nearly empty. Once there was fast food grease smeared across the passenger seat. Another time there was a parking ticket shoved into the glove compartment. When Ethan mentioned it gently, his father sighed heavily. You know I'm going through a difficult time. Instant guilt. Conversation over. His mother began treating the house like it belonged to her. She reorganized the kitchen completely. Twice. Ethan came home one evening and couldn't find anything. Coffee mugs gone, spices rearranged, pans moved. You should appreciate the help, she told him. Chloe contributed nothing financially, but somehow consumed the most resources. DoorDash almost daily, hour-long showers. Streaming subscriptions linked to Ethan's cards, accidentally. And Ryan acted like the house was a free hotel. He ate dinner there almost every night, used Ethan's expensive entertainment system, invited friends over during football games, never once offered money, not once. The worst part wasn't even the money, it was the assumption. The way they all behaved like Ethan's effort existed automatically for them. like his years of hard work were simply a family resource waiting to be distributed. And every time he noticed it, they made him feel selfish. That's when Ethan started documenting everything, not out of revenge, out of survival. Because Ethan worked in corporate compliance investigations. And he knew something most people didn't. People rewrite history when accountability arrives. So he kept records. Every bill increase, every unauthorized charge, every text asking for money, every grocery receipt, every time someone borrowed his car, every conversation about temporary living arrangements. He stored everything inside a thick black binder locked in his office drawer. At first, the binder made him feel paranoid. Then eventually, it made him feel sane. Months became years, and slowly Ethan realized something horrifying. Nobody planned to leave, not really. His father found part-time consulting work eventually. But suddenly there was always a reason full-time employment wasn't the right fit. His mother became comfortable. Chloe bounced between jobs every few months. Ryan proposed after dating her for less than a year. And suddenly the entire household transformed into a wedding planning committee funded by one person. Ethan. The signs started small. His mother showing him venue brochures. Chloe sending dress photos. Ryan casually discussing catering costs during dinner. Then one Sunday evening everything finally exploded. Ethan had spent all afternoon grilling steaks in the backyard. His money, his groceries, his house. Everyone sat around the table laughing while Chloe scrolled through wedding ideas on her iPad. Then she slid a brochure toward him. The deposit deadline's next month. Ethan glanced down. Luxury resort wedding. Total upfront cost. $38,000. He blinked slowly. You're joking. Nobody laughed. His father leaned back calmly. You're financially stable. His mother nodded. And this is family. Ethan stared at them. Then Chloe said the sentence he would never forget. You don't even spend money on anything important. Ryan smirked beside her. You're single, dude, no wife, no kids, you literally just work all the time. Chloe laughed lightly. At least this way your money actually means something. Something inside Ethan went completely cold. Not anger, not sadness, clarity, like finally seeing a relationship exactly as it truly was. He realized something terrifying in that moment. His family did not see him as a son, or a brother, or even a person. They saw him as infrastructure, a provider, a safety net, an ATM with emotions. And suddenly, 3.5 years of guilt disappeared. Ethan smiled calmly. I'll think about it. That night he sat alone in his home office staring at the black binder. Then he opened it. Page after page. 3.5 years of evidence. Receipts, statements, photos, texts, proof. And for the first time in years, he stopped questioning himself. The next morning he called an attorney. 2 days later, official notices were printed. 30 days to vacate the property. All occupants listed by name. When Ethan handed the papers to his father, silence filled the kitchen. His mother looked confused at first, then horrified. Chloe exploded instantly. You can't evict family. I can, Ethan replied calmly. It's legally my property. Ryan stood up aggressively. You're seriously doing this over money? Ethan looked directly at him. No. I'm doing this because all of you confused my kindness with obligation. His father's face turned red. After everything we did for you growing up, that sentence almost worked. Almost. Because guilt had controlled Ethan his entire life. But this time, the binder existed, and facts are powerful when emotions stop working. You were my parents, Ethan said quietly. Raising me wasn't a loan I agreed to repay forever. The manipulation campaign began immediately. Relatives called nonstop. Facebook posts appeared about family betrayal. An aunt posted, Success means nothing if you forget where you came from. One cousin texted, White Americans abandon family, we raised you better. That one actually made Ethan laugh out loud. Because for years, he had sacrificed nearly everything for them. And somehow he was still the villain. 30 days passed. Nobody moved out. Ethan expected that too. So on the final evening, he made one phone call, sheriff's department. When deputies arrived, chaos exploded instantly. Chloe cried loudly in the driveway, hoping neighbors would watch. Ryan became confrontational until deputies warned him. His mother performed quiet heartbreak like a professional actress. His father kept repeating, "You'll regret this forever." But Ethan simply stood there silently as luggage rolled toward waiting subs. At 9:47 p.m., the front door closed, and the house became quiet, real quiet. No TV noise, no arguments, no slammed doors upstairs, just silence. Ethan stood alone in the kitchen for nearly 10 minutes. Then something unexpected happened. He started crying, not because he regretted it, because he realized how exhausted he had been for years without admitting it. The guilt disappeared slowly after that. Peace replaced it. His grocery bill dropped by more than half. His electricity bill returned to normal. His house stayed clean. His car always had gas. For the first time in years, his home actually felt like home again. But the story wasn't over. 2 months later, Chloe sued him. Emotional distress, wrongful eviction, psychological harm. Ethan wasn't surprised. That's why the binder existed. Court day arrived on a freezing Tuesday morning. Chloe entered wearing expensive designer clothes carefully chosen to make her look innocent and vulnerable. Ryan sat behind her pretending to be supportive. His parents looked emotionally devastated. Ethan arrived alone carrying the black binder. The judge listened patiently while Chloe described betrayal, trauma, and abandonment. Then the judge turned toward Ethan. "Mr. Carter, your response?" Ethan placed the binder on the table and opened it. The courtroom changed immediately. Page after page. Bank statements, utility bills, gas receipts, screenshots, financial records. 3.5 years documented with terrifying precision. Then Ethan placed down one final printed screenshot. A text from Chloe to Ryan sent 8 months earlier. "Relax. Ethan always complains, but he'll pay eventually." Silence. Complete silence. The judge stared at the message, then looked at Chloe. "Would you like to continue this case?" For the first time in years, Chloe looked uncertain. Her lawyer whispered something urgently. Finally, she lowered her eyes. "No, Your Honor." Case dismissed. Outside the courthouse, his father stopped him near the stairs. "You humiliated this family." Ethan looked at him calmly. "No," he replied quietly. "You humiliated yourselves when you stopped seeing me as family and started seeing me as funding." Then he walked away. Months later, Ethan repainted the house, reorganized the kitchen exactly how he liked it, started sleeping better, started smiling more. And one evening, while sitting alone on his back porch watching the sunset over Texas, he finally understood something important. Some people don't love your kindness. They love your usefulness. And the moment you stop allowing yourself to be used, they call you selfish. But boundaries are not cruelty. Sometimes they're survival.